I don't want to work anymore, but I have absolutely no choice. Financially, I cannot afford to stop working. Okay, so these next 6 words that I'm about to share with you right now are going to be some of the most powerful words that you're ever going to hear. And these words are, I can't afford to stop working. And that is exactly what we're going to be talking about in today's video, because if you do not do the necessary things in this current time that you are in right now with your finances, it is inevitable that you will reach some point when you are going to then regurgitate those exact words, and you're going to be telling yourself, I don't want to work anymore. I don't feel like I can work anymore. Or maybe even you're not even capable to physically work anymore. And then again, you're going to be telling yourself and echoing those words as sure as I'm speaking them out in this video. You are then going to be telling yourself something along the lines of this. You are going to say, I don't want to work anymore, but I have absolutely no choice. Financially, I cannot afford to stop working. Okay, so the things that I just shared with you, I said them not in order to like try to scare you or, anything like that. Really, the reason why I'm saying that to you like that in that way is I'm really hoping to like open your eyes and get you to start to think, and then, really take your financial life much more serious than the likelihood that you are taking it right now. Because the chances are, if you are anything like just the average everyday person, you are really taking for granted the finances that you have available to you, and really just the opportunities that you have in front of you on an everyday basis to grow and build your wealth. And this is why I'm making this video, because really what I'm hoping to do is get you to understand that it doesn't matter if you are young or even like a middle-aged person. You could be in great health, no problems whatsoever. You're like, hey man, I'm in a great job, I make great money, I'm good. Like, why do I need to be worried about getting to some point where I never want to stop working again? I'm completely happy, I love my job, my life is great. Yes, all of that is true right now, but life changes, things happen, and maybe you never lose your health. Like, maybe that's not the problem, but you might get to a point where you're like, hey, the company that I work with is no longer the same, or hey, maybe they start, things change over time with your, your personal life or in your career. And ultimately, I think for 99% of people, you reach a point in life where you're going to decide, you know what, I don't want to work forever. Like, at some point, you would like to go ahead, step away from the workforce and start to do, things in your life that you actually want to do. Like, most people don't actually find it enjoyable to just work and work, and they're not going to want to work for the remainder of their life, and those that do, then that's great, like that's fine. But for those of us who don't want to do this and don't want to be put in a situation where not only do they not want to work for the rest of their life, but the last thing they want to do is get caught up or get stuck in a situation where, even knowing that they don't want to work forever, they have absolutely no choice in order to keep on working, because they have to, because their finances are in such a shape that they have to continue working regardless of whether they want to or not. Or even if they don't work, they're going to end up finding themselves being a financial burden to some other family member or spouse or something like that. And then that's just really not the type of financial situation you want to find yourself in. So given this, with all this being said, what do we need to do to make sure that we never put ourselves in this type of situation and find ourselves where we are then telling ourselves, man, I'm in a situation where I absolutely cannot afford to stop working because I never built wealth for myself. I never reached financial freedom. So what do we need to do so that way we never reach that point? Well, this is exactly what we need to do. Okay, so in order to make sure that we never reach that point in our financial life to where we are going to be stuck and be forced to work even when we no longer want to, and really find ourselves in a situation where we can't afford to stop working, I believe the very first and foremost thing that we need to do and take care of is for us to assess and really take a hard look at how are we handling our finances in the current moment. So that way we make sure that whatever choices or whatever decisions that we need to make to change things in our current situation so that way we could set ourselves up for future success. So I'm sure for just about 99% of people who are watching this video, most of us just go to work, you probably have a good job, you're earning a decent or a reasonable income, and then you go ahead, bring home that income after getting paid, and then you go ahead, pay the necessary bills that you have, then you go ahead and probably do a few things that you either need to do or even some things that you want to do. And then ultimately you just recycle this process over and over again and just repeat it repeatedly, month after month, year after year. And basically you're just stuck in like this hamster wheel type of scenario, and nowhere in that financial plan that you are currently executing is there any type of like exit or game plan or strategy that is going to set you up for growing your wealth, building your wealth, and then ultimately landing at the point where you have reached financial freedom. So because there is no wealth plan in place, there is no hope or no goal of ever getting out of the workforce or ever being able to escape the workforce, because none of the actions that you are currently taking are allowing you to accumulate wealth or build any type of wealth. So I believe that that's step one, taking a hard look at your financial situation and recognize that you are probably just earning your income, bringing it home, and then going ahead and spending that income in every other type of area except the areas that is going to allow you to grow and build wealth. All right, so the next thing that I think that you need to do in order to, better your financial situation and set yourself up for financial success is really that you have to understand that it is virtually going to be impossible for you to really start winning financially and set yourself up in a strong financial situation where you could be growing, building your wealth, and then one day reach financial freedom if you are spending every single dollar that you earn each and every single pay period, each and every single month, and ultimately just year after year. So we got to also start there. You got to start getting to a point where you take a hard look at your income that you were earning and then say, okay, how do I start to eliminate some of these expenses that I have, or some of these things that I'm spending my money on, month after month, year after year, that maybe I could go ahead and decide I don't really need these. These are not exactly needs. These are just more wants. I could either find cheaper, ways to go ahead and get these same things, allowing you to save some money, or you just go ahead and say, hey, you know what? I could just simply do without some of these because these things that you are spending your money on is not as important as your financial freedom. So you need to start prioritizing your financial freedom. And in doing this, you're going to start saying, hey, I need to really value the money that I am earning. And the way that you're going to value it is by not spending that hard-earned income that you are earning each and every single pay period, each and every single month, and each and every single year. You're going to start making sure that you are ultimately living on less than you are earning. So look at all of, the things that you're spending your money on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis, and start saying, hey, what are some of the things that you could start cutting out of your life, financial things that you could then save money in those areas. And because you have made these cuts into your financial life and you started eliminating these things that you were spending money on that was not necessary, it is going to now put you in a situation where you have free and clear income left over. And then because you have this free and clear income left over, it's going to put you in a strong situation where then you could start to acquire assets, which you never really had up to this point, which is why you were never, increasing your wealth, building your wealth, and you had no game plan, no strategy to ever reach financial freedom. But now, because you have this free and clear cash, you could start to put a plan in place and decide strategically what type of assets you want to start acquiring for yourself. So that way you could start building your wealth, growing your wealth, and then ultimately now you are executing a game plan that is going to, in the long run, get you to financial freedom. Okay, so in the first step, you're really just taking a look at your financial life, saying, okay, I'm not on any direct path that's going to lead me to a better life financially, and then I need to make some type of changes. In step two, you're like, all right, I need to start living on less than I am earning so I could free up cash so then I could start investing it. Now, before we start actually getting into what type of assets would you start investing that free and clear cash, I think that we need to go ahead and realize that although you have an income and that you're working, and it might even be a reasonably good income, I still want to prioritize that you should look for ways to increase your value in the marketplace, whether it's you are an employee, whether you are running a business, or whatever it is, however you make your money. But ultimately what you want to do is you want to look for how can you increase the income that you are earning. Because yes, it's all great that we go ahead and, recognize that we want to build and grow our wealth, but the more income that you have available to you to invest into assets, the more of those assets that you're going to be able to acquire, which means you're going to be able to acquire and build more wealth for yourself, allowing you to reach your financial freedom even sooner. And just ultimately, even if you reach your financial freedom number relatively quick, you're just going to be able to blow past that and really put yourself in a really great financial situation. You're going to ultimately go way past your financial freedom number. And that's just really going to, who would not want to be in such a financial situation to be like, hey, I hit my financial freedom number, a long time ago, but now I'm just growing an even greater amount of wealth. That's a very strong financial position to be in. Now, in order to do that, what I'm saying is that you want to prioritize making sure that you focus on earning more, not just only on, eliminating your expenses or cutting out or saving, in other words, by cutting out things in your financial life that you do not need to be spending your money on. Like, you don't need to waste excessive amounts of money on going out to eat. You don't need to, spend excessive amounts of money, going out shopping or on excessive vacations that are, just thousands of dollars. Like, you don't need to do those things. So yes, you could eliminate some wants and, make some savings there, free up some free and clear cash so that we could buy assets. But you also want to prioritize looking for ways to increase your income, whatever that is, reinvesting into yourself, doing some type of a side hustle, looking for ways to increase your skill set so that way you could ultimately make more. Because again, the more income that you're able to earn, the more income that you're going to have available to go ahead and start investing into assets that are going to allow you to grow and build your wealth. Now we're going to go ahead and start looking at what are some of the most commonly available assets that are proven throughout time to ultimately allow you to build and grow your wealth and ultimately reach financial freedom. Okay, so now we're at the point where it is all about taking action now. You've got that free and clear income and you are ready to start purchasing assets because you are taking your financial freedom extremely serious. So what are some of the most common assets that people invest into who wanted to grow and build their wealth and went on to acquire those assets and do exactly that, grow and build their wealth and then reach at the destination of their financial freedom? So all three of these assets that I'm about to share with you are all tried and proven assets that are great for growing and building your wealth. Now, like I said, none of this is investing advice or, I'm not trying to tell you you need to do these, but I'm just sharing with you that these are assets that are known worldwide that will allow people who, when they do their research and they pick the right assets within these categories, that they will then go on to grow and build their wealth. Because all three of these asset classes have created millionaires and even billionaires. And you do not, just for the record, you do not need to do all three of these asset classes. You do not need to be invested into all three of these asset classes in order to build wealth, to get rich, and ultimately reach your financial freedom. You can easily reach your financial freedom in just one of these asset classes. But for the purpose of this video, I just want to give you more options and I just want to share with you three of the most common asset classes that are widely used by people who are looking to grow and build their wealth and ultimately reach financial freedom. So the first asset class that you really want to take a hard look at and consider getting into is none other than the stock market. Now, I'm not going to get all into the details about the ins and the outs of the stock market and, individual stocks and ETFs and index funds and whatever, crypto, all these things. No, we're not getting into all of those subjects. That's all those things could just be a complete separate video in and of itself. So really what I wanted to get across is just that the stock market is a tremendous place for you to look around, find really great opportunities to invest your money and grow and build your wealth. So I don't know what it is going to be for you. If you decide to invest into the stock market, it could be individual stocks, it could be crypto, it could be, index funds, ETFs. My recommendation is that you go ahead, look into the stock market, learn as much as you possibly can about the stock market, and then find your section of the stock market where you are completely comfortable investing your hard-earned income and that you understand the risk, the rewards, and ultimately that investment with inside the stock market is going to provide you with the type of returns that you're going to need on your income in order to help you reach your financial freedom. So again, The very first asset class that I'm sharing with you that's going to help you grow and build your wealth is going to be through investing into the stock market. All right, so now we're on to the second asset class that you could take a hard look at and potentially invest into that will allow you to grow and build your wealth. So for this asset class, we're taking a hard look at investing into real estate. Now, just like the stock market, when I brought that up to you right now, I'm not going to get into all the ins and outs of real estate and all the different types and all the different things or which one you should pick, because none of this that I'm sharing with you is investing advice. I'm just sharing with you an asset class that will allow you to grow and build your wealth, or an asset that has the potential to allow you to grow and build your wealth. So again, investing into real estate. Now, some typical options in real estate is going to be through investing into residential real estate, commercial real estate, and you can also invest into real estate within the stock market through things that are called real estate trusts. Again, we're not going to get into that, but these are all things that you could then go on your own, do your research, take a hard look at them, and when you are comfortable and you understand exactly what you are getting into, then you could decide if that's a decision that you want to go ahead and make and start investing into real estate to grow and build your wealth. So now let's go ahead and get into the third asset that's going to allow you to grow and build your wealth. Okay, so the third asset that we're going to take a look at that will potentially grow and build your wealth for you, because it has done it for multiples of other people, millions upon millions of people. And it is really just one of the asset classes that if you can get it right, you can make a ton of money and you could truly get rich in this all alone. So what is this asset class? So this asset class is starting a business. And the reason why I say that is because if you have a product or a service or something to offer either another business or the direct public, you can make a ton of money, by running a business and having your own business. Now, you could either just have a business and make tons of money just from the business, or it might be the type of business that you grow it, get it very profitable, get it to a point where this business and what you are offering and the amount of money that the business is generating is very desirable. And then you could go ahead and say, hey, now that this business is worth a lot of money, I'm going to go ahead and sell this business. I'm going to cash out, and that is going to be how you're going to make your money. Or again, you could just continue to own the business, but you do not have to sell the business. You could just continue to own it as long as it is a very profitable business and it is generating you plenty of cash. Then you are basically going to be owning a cash generating machine. It's going to be like you just owning an ATM that's just printing you out endless amounts of cash because you have a great product or a great service or something that you are offering, either a business or you are offering the public. So this is the third asset class that you want to potentially look at getting started with, that is going to allow you to grow and build your wealth. Now, like I mentioned before we started listing these three asset classes off, you do not need to be, invested into all three of these asset classes. You don't need to be in the stock market and in real estate and also have your own business. Now, if you decide to go ahead and do that, there's nothing wrong with that. That could be really great. A lot of people do that. But again, just like I mentioned earlier on in this video, you can easily get rich, build wealth, and ultimately reach your financial freedom just by owning one of these asset classes. So do not put the pressure on yourself, or do not make yourself feel like you need to have all three of these just in order to do well financially. So hey, if you guys made it to this part of the video and you enjoyed this type of content and you are currently not subscribed to my channel, do me a huge favor, look right here on the bottom right side of the screen, go ahead, find that subscribe button. Be sure to go ahead and give that subscribe button a quick tap for me. And then what's going to happen is a video is going to pop up here on the screen. It's going to be another video from my channel. You guys are going to really enjoy that video. So go ahead, click that video, and I will see you guys in that next video.